So this is what I have right now, so far. And today I'm gonna hopefully finish the graph. I just got done. I think it looks okay. To be honest, I think it looks a lot better than the other page. I liked this style here, and I had some problems figuring out which way is the best way to do it. Because yeah. But then I think finally I got to the point where everything is working. And I thought for some reason that I wouldn't be able to open the Jinja templates, the graphs in Next.js, but actually I forgot that the only place that the Jinja True template is used is on the PyVis library. After you create the graph, it's just like a normal HTML, so it's possible to render it from Next.js. Hopefully it doesn't break when I deploy Traversal, but it seems like it's working here at least. And I think on demo day we're gonna be able to show localhost. Obviously, it's not ideal. It's better to have the version deployed with the link. But in last case scenario, I think I can just share, because I think we're gonna share our screen, and then whoever comes and is gonna be able to see the screen and ask questions. So it doesn't have to be deployed. But obviously, I think it's better to deploy everything as much as I can before demo day, so that people can click the link and see for themselves how it works. I think it's better. And these files here are not graphs. They're just files empty files that are created. This is the only one that is a graph, in order to test the functionality of the page. Yeah, so now I'm gonna work on this function here. I worked on this one after a stream, I think, after the last time I streamed. And yeah. And then I remember something that I learned from one of the challenges, I think was on Code Wars. Either Code Wars or Lead Code, about these combinations here. And then I thought it would be a great opportunity to apply this, because I can just get all the columns that I want and do these combinations. And what this is gonna do is gonna create all possible combinations of 3 columns given this list here. And then I call this function, I loop through these combinations and pass the columns to this function here. And then from this function I pass to this graph. I pass to this function that creates the graph. And I think I'm gonna keep it really basic, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna, like I said before, I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue to do this simulation like this, and it's more so that I have more things to show, I think, on the one day. And then after that, I'm gonna study a lot. After I finish these graphs, I'm gonna study a lot and see what kind of information I can get from the blockchain. And then from that point, I decide whether or not I keep using these graphs or not. And if I keep using these graphs, I'm probably gonna study a way to hack the library. Not hack, but change the library in a fundamental way, so that I can implement more functionality based on the ideas that I have on cool ways to integrate these graphs with other stuff that I want to do. So pretty much this code, I think I copied from another project I had. And then I just changed something slightly. Oh yeah, that's another thing. And maybe I'll change the way that Well, I had to do this because I'm using Vaex, that library that I don't know how to say, in order to make it faster. It doesn't change much when you create the graph, it's still slow because it has to go through the process of creating. And that's what I'm going to do today, which is figure out a way to cut this data frame into several parts so I can just do smaller graphs. And yeah, I have to think about. I'm thinking about trying to figure out somehow how to limit to 80,000 nodes for each one. So 80,000 rows for the column, for the DF, and do 3 different ranges for each category here. So I think inside of this function, it would be, yeah, that's gonna be a problem actually. Oh, yeah. So inside of this function, I can just get the 3 different ranges. I split the data into 80,000 by 80,000 parts. And then I get 2 different ranges, and I call this on a loop with the 3 different ranges. And then all I have to do is call everything once. And I think I'm gonna develop this function on this file here. Yeah. So the last time I was trying to do a graph, it took a long time, and I didn't finish the graph. This one I finished because there was something wrong with the way that I was doing, so it was really fast. But once I fixed everything, I got up to I think 600,000 columns. But that was after 5 or 6 hours, or maybe even more, of letting the thing run. And yeah, so I'm thinking about dividing by 80,000, and then maybe I just get 2 different ranges for each graph, and then after that I let me think. It's not necessary to put this df here. I think I just need the columns, because the only reason I'm passing the df here is so I can pass to this other function, because here I'm getting the values in order to create this. So I get the smallest value here, smallest length. So I get the column that has the least amount of rows, just so that it doesn't break the creation here of the graph. And I could change this, I think, but like I said before, I don't think I'm gonna keep it simple for now, I think. And then I loop through this and I create the graphs based on the name of the columns. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do 2 different ranges for each combination of columns. And after I do that, after I figure out how to split the data frame, I'm gonna do the same thing for the transactions, because this is just the blocks. Yeah, so it should give me a bunch of different graphs. Maybe just do one combination of each, so it's easier, because I'm already gonna have enough. And then after demo day later on, I decided whether or not I'll continue to do this or do something else, because I think after I finish this, I'm gonna study how to get information for addresses, which is far more interesting to me. and hopefully, or maybe I can, before demo day, finish something related to that for the other pages. But obviously I have to deploy as well after I finish doing these graphs, and see if there's gonna be any problems when deploying. So and here I have to put the actual names. So let's think. So maybe it's better to move this part here into the other one. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna have to do this calculation here anyway. Oh, maybe actually I probably don't need to do this calculation if I'm only gonna get 80,000 rows, because they're all gonna be same length. But I think I'm gonna leave it like this anyway. Shouldn't affect that much the speed. I think I'm gonna put some music on the background. This name is a little bit complicated to think about as well, because I'm gonna have to get the ranges if I wanna do more than one graph. This was something I was thinking about as I did this for the first time, is whether or not I incorporate the block number for each graph as the size, because otherwise the ranges for blocks is kind of meaningless when you're looking at the graph. But like I said, I don't think it's something that is worth thinking about. It's more, I just want to build this and then get feedback on demo day to see how people feel about this, and maybe I can get different ideas based on the feedback as well. So I don't think it matters that much for now. So I think if in pandas data frame, I would probably do the iLock or lock to get the range. So I think I'm just gonna search here how to split the data frame based on size. It's definitely doing a lot of different things probably. So I don't think it is like a data frame. It's probably a generator object or something like that. So it might be very tricky to do. Hopefully not. And maybe I can just do this filtering here. I think I'm gonna print the data frame again. Just I wanna know if I have IDs here. Maybe I can just open. Yeah, I don't think I have ID. It's probably easier to just look it up. Maybe we can use this thing here. I don't think I'm gonna overthink it that much. I'm gonna try to find the easiest way, probably. I think I'm gonna try this one. Just so I have more time to do other stuff. If I can finish this fast. Oh, actually makes sense to pass the data frame. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to cut the columns anyway. Or maybe I can split the data frame first, and then I get the columns later. Yeah, because the columns are just the names, so what matters is the data frame. No, never mind. Yeah, there we go. So maybe we'll do 10%. I think I'm gonna get the print the shape first, so I know how many columns it has, how many rows. And then can calculate roughly 8,000%, 8,000%, 80,000 rows based on the overall shape, and then I can just do the percentage as a close approximation. It's probably gonna take a while. Hopefully not that long. Yeah, but I think this probably works, and it's probably the simplest way. It's probably better to print the shape of this as well, just to know if it's working. Because after I run the graph, I can only see if it works. I have to wait for 80,000 then, just see if it's gonna stop or not, and that might take a while. Okay, so there's 1,800,000 rows. So let's say, so it's probably 80 times 100, or it's 80,000 divided by 4%. So 0.04%, 160. Yeah, maybe 10% is fine. Obviously, is 4% because I could just divide this by 10. And yeah. Yeah, so this is gonna give me around 160,000 probably. 117,000. I think that's fine. Or maybe not actually, maybe it's better. Because it's a lot of combinations actually. If you think about it. So I think the size can be this 0. Because it seems to be, the row seems to be the first one. And that's gonna be the name of the file. I think that's it. So let me run this and see if it works. Maybe we should just return this. Return size actually. If it works, then I'm gonna pass this to the other function. And then while that function runs, I'm gonna build I think I'm gonna build on this file. I'm gonna analyze a little bit the transactions file. Hopefully it doesn't take a lot of time because the transactions file is bigger. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the transactions, I think. Maybe we should analyze the transactions before and then just put it below this so I don't have to, so everything runs at once. But I think it's better to do them separately, I think. Because I remember in the past where I did stuff with graphs that sometimes it doesn't finish I'm not really sure exactly what happens, but it seems like it keeps using the memory that it was using for building the first one into the second one and starts aggregating and starts accumulating the amount of memory and computation it's using for each graph. And for some reason, it doesn't, let's say, cut off the first one after it gets done. Okay, nice. So 89,000. So I think that might be a problem if it happens in the same way with this script. And then if I have both of them, yeah, it's probably safer just to do one at a time. So blocks first, and then hopefully after the first graph finishes, it saves already and it doesn't wait for all of them to finish to save all of them. I don't think so, but because of like I said before, the previous experience I had with building graphs with matplotlib, sometimes there were some situations like that. So it looks like this is working, I think. So I think I'm just gonna copy this stuff. Oh, I didn't return but I think it's pretty, I should return it like this. I forgot. But I think it's probably correct. Maybe we'll just leave it like this. And this file name is gonna be the name that is saved here. So it's each column and then the size. Yeah, okay, so. And to be honest, it was a lot easier than I expected. Hopefully this works. Just making sure that I didn't miss anything. But I don't think I did. Yeah, so I'm gonna call it with the data frame plus the combination of the thing. Maybe we should print the column here as well. Just to see. And then I pass this file with the file name and the column names. So I think I'm gonna try to run this. And I also have to change the description here. This description, because I didn't put the amount of numbers, so maybe I will do that now. Just gonna wait to see if it starts showing up this printing the keys here, which is each node of each time that it goes through a row, it prints this. It's not that interesting of a graph, this one. I was going really fast. Nice. Okay, so it looks like it's working. So I'm just getting the relationship between the 3 different columns and the rows, the way they are connected. So pretty much each block, because each row of this file is a block, so I'm getting the connection of the 3 different categories based on the blocks, I think. Yeah, so now I think I'm gonna erase this stuff and I'm gonna see. First, I'm gonna change the. I'm gonna change the description there of this. Maybe it is too long now. Yeah, there we go. Because of the way that I did this, it might be very difficult to deploy. So, because I'm not really 100% sure, I used something that is called a hook that is called SWR, this hook here. And I'm not sure if it's gonna work on Verso. I think it does, but I'm also not really 100% sure if I did it in the best way. I just wanted to see, to get it done, to get it working as fast as possible. And this is a problem, I think. Oh no, it's still in the first one. Okay. I want to see if it's gonna create a graph after it finishes the first one. Because then it doesn't matter if it fails in the middle, because I will have some graphs at least already. And as long as I have some graphs done, it's fine. Yeah, so if it gives me a problem to deploy traversal, then yeah, I might not be able to get it done until demo day. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep trying to get it done, depending on how the deployment goes. Because if it doesn't work, then I think it might be better to just try to study the other stuff and then show the localhost version on the demo day. I think it's better. So let me see the number of rows here. Okay, I'm gonna try this one first. Yeah, I think it's the smallest one I have. Maybe there is a converter as well. Let me search for. Because I think it works a lot faster if the file is in the format that the library accepts and not as CSV. Maybe you can just look at the documentation, it's probably easier. Oh, this extension here. Let's see first if I can open the file just with the open command. Or maybe it's better to print the columns. I think I have it. I didn't delete from this one. Yeah, nice. Because I forgot which columns. Oh, I guess I have on this here as well. I have to look it up actually, just like I did on with the blocks here. Maybe I'll put this stuff in a file separated so I know, so it's more organized and I know what each thing means. Yeah, I have no idea what these letters mean. I think the value means the value of the transaction, but I'm not sure. These ones are self-explanatory. Yeah, the only ones that I don't know is V, yeah, but it's this one. And the type as well, I also don't understand. It's easier to get the names again. Hopefully this one doesn't screw up the other one. I can tell that my computer is starting to kind of crash. But I think if the file is in this format here, it will probably go a lot faster. Interesting. You can just do this. Yeah, next time, obviously, not obviously, but I think that next time that I start getting data from blocks, I'm gonna put them directly on the .h5 extension because this type of file, because it's gonna take a very long time to convert the other ones, probably. Even though this library is faster, still think it's gonna be very slow. It's not that difficult to be honest. Doesn't seem to be that difficult. So I think I'm gonna try to do that after this runs. I'm gonna just copy the stuff that he did there. Yeah, so it looks like I screwed up this one as well. That's an issue because I'm gonna have to work with the other file. I wonder if I can open, probably not. If I can edit this file. Actually, so yeah. I guess I can put the columns here, create a script to put the columns in the first. And I have the names of the columns from this one. But I don't feel like doing that now. So I think what I'm gonna do is try to transform these transactions into the other format. Just gonna copy this stuff. And I'm gonna print the columns first to see if the transaction has the columns in the right way. And then after this, I'm gonna save to the other format because it's probably gonna be faster. I think the only thing I have to do is this. And then the file name is gonna be equal to the other one, but with a H5 extension. H5 thing. I don't know how to say that. My only concern is that it's gonna either crash my computer or make it super slow because I have the other script running already. And then while I run these two scripts, then I'm gonna write down maybe it's better to write down first the name of the columns, and I'm gonna research just like I did with the blocks to see exactly what each column means. I think these ones I'm not gonna do. It's probably the same as a block number. I'm not gonna do from gas price. Hash. Maybe I'll just put the description. Maybe I'll do like this as well. It's probably easier to understand. What's the difference between hash and block hash? And maybe I think this is gonna be kind of hard to find because I'm gonna have to find related to... There's gonna be a bunch of general answers and not for the thing that I'm doing. The hash. Inputs. I'm not sure what it is. It's R. Yeah, these ones are also gonna be hard to find, I think. And then value. So I'm not sure if this is correct, but divided transfer for the transaction and also endowments. I think that's probably correct. Oh, so the hash is probably the hash of the transaction, and the block hash is the hash of the block. Yeah, so this is here. Yeah, I don't think this is working. I was supposed to stop already. Oh, it's because I'm passing the DF here. Should be passing DF fast. That's why. Let me run this one. Oh, actually not. because this is gonna take a very long time. And run this again. Now the reason why I thought it was gonna be harder is because initially I was thinking about doing 3 times for each one. Yeah, that's probably why it was a lot easier than I thought. It's just difficult to think about a way to search for these things here because it's too generic. I think I'm gonna look at the documentation again, but I think I'm pretty sure I've looked on the first time and it didn't have any explanation, but hopefully it has. It's kind of hard to find. And maybe I should run this one as I search for this. I I, I don't think I missed anything here. I'm so used to things going wrong now that it's almost like I'm expecting everything should go wrong or to be a lot more difficult than it probably is. And because it's gonna take a long time, I don't wanna make the mistake and then just realize that after it's running for a long time. Okay, so I don't think I made any mistake. Maybe on the open. Let me see. And this example they have but I think it's the same thing. Maybe we should do read CSV here just to be safe. Yeah. think I'm just gonna search by the name of the method. It's probably better. It's gonna get really slow now, I think. My computer, because I'm running both of these scripts at the same time. Arbitrary.if get block. Everything's freezed.